At only 12 years old, Kemi had already seen more hardship than most people would in a lifetime. Raised on the streets by her mentally ill mother, Kemi didn't have a father or a home. She dropped out of school after just 2 years when the woman paying her fees disappeared. Alone, ignored, but incredibly bright, Kemi lived a life of hardship with no one to fight for her. But one day, everything changed. She met Bella, the daughter of a wealthy businessman. Bella went to the best school money could buy, but struggled to keep up with the lessons. And Kemi, the barefoot girl from the streets, became her secret tutor. When Bella's father discovered what was happening, his reaction was something no one could have expected. Kemi's life was not easy. She lived with her mother, Adibimpe, who was always either lost in her own world or behaving strangely. Kemi had no father, no one to ask about her family, and no dreams except for survival. Each day was a fight for food, a fight for dignity, and a fight to keep her mother safe. But despite everything, Kemi never stopped hoping. She dreamed of school, of uniforms, of books, things she thought she could never have. One day, a kind woman named Auntie Tina noticed Kemi. She offered her food, listened to her story, and later offered her a job cleaning her small shop. Kemi worked hard, and Auntie Tina began to see something in Kemi that others hadn't. She was smart, too smart. She learned by watching the school near her street, memorizing lessons even though she had no formal education. Auntie Tina, seeing Kemi's potential, bought her a uniform and enrolled her in school. For the first time, Kemi entered a classroom. Though she was nervous, her intelligence quickly shone through. She answered questions that even older students couldn't. But just when things seemed to be improving, Auntie Tina left for the UK. She had done all she could for Kemi and promised to send help, but Kemi was left alone again and without the money to stay in school. Soon, Kemi found herself back on the streets, looking for a way to survive. She continued to dream of education despite the hardship. She would sneak around the fences of fancy schools, watching the students inside and memorizing what she saw. Then one day, she met Tiiti, a girl her age who noticed Kemi watching from behind a school window. Tiiti, unlike the other kids who mocked Kemi, took a liking to her. She introduced herself and asked Kemi to teach her as she was struggling in school. Kemi was hesitant, but agreed to help. Every day they would meet secretly under a tree during lunch, where Kemi taught Tiiti lessons she had learned by herself. The two girls became close friends despite their different backgrounds. Tiiti, whose father was a powerful businessman, was often mocked at school for being behind in her studies. But with Kemi's help, she started to catch up. One day, Tiiti's father discovered their secret. At first he was angry, but when he learned of Kemi's story, his heart softened. He wanted to help her, so he took her to meet her mother and promised to support her education. Kemi was skeptical at first, but Mr. Okeki kept his word. He arranged for her mother to receive treatment and offered to take Kemi into his home. Kemi could hardly believe it. She had gone from a homeless street girl to a daughter of a billionaire, all because of a single act of kindness. Tiiti and Kemi became inseparable. They went to school together, and Kemi's intelligence and hard work impressed everyone. Kemi was no longer the girl hiding in the shadows. She was a student, a friend, and someone people looked up to. Years later, Kemi looked back at her journey and marveled at how much had changed. From the broken streets of Lagos to the gates of an elite school, Kemi had risen against all odds. She had proven that no matter where you come from, with kindness, education, and the right opportunities, anyone can rise to greatness. Her story is a reminder to never judge someone by their circumstances. With a little compassion and support, even the most forgotten child can find their way to greatness. Thanks for watching. Kindly like, share, comment, and most importantly, subscribe for more heart-touching stories.